What's up, folks? God of Gold here. Yep, as you see on my screen, I have a chart describing all the COVID cases. Now, for you people who are about to jump down my throat and rat me out all because you think this is a political issue, I just want to say you are wrong. It is not a political issue. It was a health issue, or still is, for some areas. Now, I just want to point out my condolences go out to the families and people who have suffered under this virus. Now, I don't want to hear crap in the comments. Oh, this guy's brainwashed by this party, or he's done by this party. He's a liberal. He's a conservative. No, no. Because if I do see a comment like that, I will delete it. So let that be warned to you. I'm not a radical. I look at both sides of the situation. Now, stop it. Anyways, now I got that little rant out of the way, let's continue. Unfortunately, COVID cases have gone very high. Probably, I think this is the highest in history. Maybe other people think it, or it's stated a fact. What was it? The last viral outbreak we had in the United States was the swine flu incident, which happened about 13 years ago. And that was by far, at the time, the largest in the century. Until we had other viruses come and go. Like we had Ebola, which isn't airborne, by the way, but it can be deadly. It's actually deadlier than COVID, if anything, according to the chart, but COVID spreads faster. Then there was Zika, which lasted for a bit. I don't know what happened there. I guess maybe that they started using bug spray against the mosquitoes down in South America, and they killed off a lot of them, so I guess the cases declined for a good portion, but I don't know. Personally, I think that needs more research to get a vaccine there as well. Anyways. Now, the COVID cases, yes, they are high. Very high. But that's total cases. We're not talking about active cases. Oh no. Total cases discuss about, like, everything. That includes deaths, recovered, and everything in between. This is the big number of the cases, okay? This is not all of the cases, though. Down here is the recovered, as you can see. Yeah, the daily new cases mostly declined, but if we're not careful, they may spike up again. It's very hard to keep track of this, and I know what you're probably wondering. Actually, a lot of you are probably wondering this. When is this pandemic going to end? That is something I have tried desperately to look for an answer for. But sadly, I don't have one. Nobody does. Granted, you can make predictions, but let's just tell the truth here. That no matter how many predictions you make, there's a chance it won't work. Because, for example, you think that, oh, the pandemic may end by the end of the year. As much as I would like to see that, as much as I would like to see the end of the pandemic as a whole by the end of the year, I don't think that's going to happen. Because, granted, there are still areas that are infected, like India, Russia, Iran. India, I think, has... Yeah, India. I think I already said India. But basically, there's still a portion of countries out there that still have high cases. The only way we can truly end this pandemic, we would have to fight this. We would. And, well, sending vaccines to other countries, that is a good move. Of course, the only downside is that people like me, for example, I just got my second dose. People have had delays in getting their second dose because they ran out of doses, because they sent them to other countries, which, don't get me wrong, it's a great method. And they're trying to fight this pandemic, or at least what's left of it. Because I'd say, as a whole, I don't think we can truly recover from this. This will be burnt in our brains for the rest of our lives as one of the worst, or if not the worst, modern time period in history. I I think we've learned a lot of lessons here. Now, hopefully things get better by early next year, but realistically speaking, it's very hard to say. We really don't know at this point. We don't. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, which are good. And again, for people who say, "Oh, you're brainwashed by Biden because you get vaccinated," no, I'm not doing it because of that a-hole. And if you already can't tell, I don't like Biden. You don't like me saying that? Then go somewhere else. Anyways, I'm only doing it because I hate this pandemic just as much as everybody else. Maybe, personally, I hate it more than everybody else. I don't know. I don't know where I stand in this. I'm just a person. But the thing is that I'm doing it because I hate this pandemic and I want it to die. And getting the vaccine, and please, I don't want to hear conspiracy theories, okay? If I even hear conspiracy theories in the comments saying, they secretly put the virus in your vaccine or the flu vaccine. No, I will not have that. Okay? And for the people who are listening here and have common sense, thank you. For those who don't have common sense, be on your way. Because honestly, I have no time for you. I am here trying to report stuff and talk about my point of view on the whole pandemic, give you the actual statistics, best sources I can, and let's talk quickly about vaccination now. I think I ranted enough. So, the COVID vaccine. Okay, so I have just saw this. As of today, 3.04 billion plus have been vaccinated worldwide. Out of 7.5 billion, I'd say that's pretty good. Probably more than that, but still. That's a really good average. At least as a whole. But the thing is that there are still certain countries that are falling behind. Now, of course, that's why, they're sending the doses there for. Basically, they would need to... Okay, this is my point of view of how fighting the pandemic should work. Yes, they're sending doses to countries, but they need to send it to, some of the greater cases. Like, for example, India, they're kind of behind China. Because look at China. 1.2 plus billion versus 327 million. That is ridiculous. They have almost as much people as China does, but they are still ways off. But the thing is that they need to concentrate on this. They need to give it so that India can cover at least 80% or more of the population's doses for fighting the pandemic. Now, Brazil is also getting hammered, as well as Russia and Indonesia. Now, this is going to be tricky, because even if we send doses to these places, it's still going to be very hard. There's still going to be infections all over. They said, and research shows, that just like the flu, this virus, the pandemic is going to go away, for sure, but the virus itself is here to stay. It's never going to go away. It takes years to eradicate a virus. It's complex. I mean, look at the smallpox. That wasn't eradicated until 1980. And that took years. Years upon years of pushing it. Now the cases are low, very low, compared to COVID, of course. But things need to be done if we're to ever get this back on track. Now, I'm not saying that people should get vaccinated all because of what Biden said. No, get vaccinated for your purpose and your duty against this pandemic. The pandemic is our worst enemy. We all can agree on that. This thing has slaughtered 2020 and parts of 2021. This has to stop. We need to pull the brakes on this pandemic. Now, I hope this was somewhat educational, you hearing me rant and being as informative as I can be, but you know what? We got to do this. We got to get out of this. This got to be something for the end of this pandemic. Because... And also, I forgot to mention, the new Delta variant that just came out, I just want to say, don't fret about it. Yes, be safe, of course, but don't get overly scared about it, because the current vaccines, may provide you with some protection against it. So it prevents death and hospitalization, that alone is a good feature, because it saves more lives. But you really need to wonder that, is this pandemic going to end? Well, it's coming to a close. When do I know? I don't. All I can do is just wait. That's it. That's all we can do. You can make predictions all you want, and it still won't make a dent in it. And that's the truth. So, yeah. I hope this helped, and I hope you guys have a nice day.